Fast forward, you come out our channel so aha GH Politics Avenue. Political stories are trending because make headlines. And your Jimre na edi exumo. Any DM ahundaksimu. Best rock set your moon right young simu. Only I say your young sima. Na Solomon Owusu movement for change. And now what then a deported the entire NPP omoko way ewo eye Akwatia by election. No what I say. Amara NDC for no omu boy jumadin rebre fie mu eye campaign na eye NDC NPP for no so eshe hotel a me no ka say omani young girls no so ejo mani anya asem koto akra yemonwram yenhwe nsema hodo a okan
election. I mean, the electors of Akwatia have spoken loud and clear that they want to, as it were, have a change of mind and also see development or improvement in their lives. So they decided to vote for the NDC and then ask the NPP to go and then prepare very well. So that it didn't come as a surprise to me. I had predicted before the elections that it was too difficult for the NDC to lose than to win, judging by how swing seats has panned out in the past, with the exception of few areas that you could have an opposition party win. The NPP went into this election without any strategy, without any message, and as I say, any message of hope that could have gingered the electors to had voted for them. Only yesterday, the second vice chair, Masaodu Osman Buga, now coming face to face with reality, went on TV, live TV, to tell the whole world that look, as a national executive committee, they went to Akwatia with no strategy. In fact, why to sleep was even a problem.
Really?
That he went to Akwatia, the acting national chairman of the party was rather sleeping at Addo. And Addo is very far off Akwatia. And that Chairman Buga's difficulty was that he had been told the number of hotels that have been allocated for the NPP. That he as a national officer was supposed to occupy one. But to his surprise, Senator, to his surprise, these are young girls you have in this country. They must be very, very careful. These hotels have been occupied by young girls who were pretending to be national officers. Who took these girls to these hotels? You tell your wives in Accra that you are going to a by-election. Not knowing people were doing by-election in hotels. You were delivering the message of hope in hotels. So Chairman Buga was so furious. Say, how can me, a second vice chair, you give me only 10,000 cedis to go and do operations with it? So finally he had to corner himself in the living room of the candidate together with the national coordinator on a small mattress, student mattress, and then, can you see how huge Buga is? See, I couldn't sleep. I did a video. I rock off my head. What is happening? What is happening, Buga? You see, now you are coming home. You will learn it the hard way. Messaging was wrong. Whereas the other candidate, Bernard Bediako, was talking about how to improve the lives of the team youth who were unemployed. The NPP was doing emotional business. Kumi is gone, he is dead, the NDC killed him, and so you must replace Kumi with another NPP president. But what actually surprised me was that the vice president, the former vice president himself, also went on that tangent. I thought that was below the belt. That because Kumi was taken to court, that was how come he died. If his argument is anything to go by, Senator, they were intending to kill John Mahama in 2012 when they took him to court. I believe that as a civilized nation, when someone does something and you do agree, the best place or the best remedy is to go to court. It's a civilized way. Now, if we're looking at those that brought a lot of pain and pressure onto Kumi, it's the NPP party and the leadership in parliament. So now you remember that fateful night, that midnight when they were swearing in new members of parliament. What transpired in the chamber? That Akwatia said no, he will have to be sworn in. They misled the gentleman. And when pressure was coming, all of them abandoned him. He was always running after his own shadows. He was living in fear because beyond the swearing, he realized that he has flouted the laws of the land. And so always was living in fear. So if anybody can, indeed, when he died, the first video that I saw coming from Akwatia from some members who claim to be members of the NPP, some women, said they attribute the death to members of the NPP, the way and manner they pressurized the young man. So that couldn't have been a campaign message. That could never, I never envisaged it. Now, if you have a party that left office only 9 months ago, and you go into an election center, and you are not able to pinpoint a single project that you did in the constituency, that is a serious matter. That you were in this country that we were told that by Akuffo and Akwatia, where is he? And that reminds me, this $750 million that they took and then the money is finished, road is not finished, that matter has been investigated properly. We were told by Akwatia that more than 10,000 kilometers of road have been constructed in this country. So the people of Akwatia couldn't find space in the 10,000 kilometers road. Terrible roads. We were told that more than 2 million jobs have been created. The NPP could not bring this out when they were in Akwatia. It was all about funeral. So see how on the date that they performed the 1 week observation, so close to the election day, so that people would just have some sympathy. But Addo Kumanov should have taught them something, that people are no more looking out to emotions. When the woman was doing, I'm a widow, I came here and said that, look, this will not win the election. The man sitting there is thinking about some bills. The children are out of school, or they have completed tertiary institution. They are looking for jobs. You being a widow does not solve that problem. And the same way you say Kumi is dead, does not solve the problem. What do you have as a way of policy and program to deal with their basic problems? And that is what precisely happened. Now, the results from Akwatia has also deflected a lot of principles that the National Executive are now holding on. First of all, the principle of roof to foundation, or top down. It is never something that will help you. Now, if you watched Akwatia carefully, the structures on the ground had broken. The party structures at the constituency wasn't functioning. So it was all free for all. This one is passing here without the message, that one is passing here without the message. And they were just going round. Every party thrives on solid structures. That is the only vehicle you can use to propel your party into limelight. Now everything is concentrated in Accra. They are running a party from Accra by denying the various constituencies their due. So it tells you that the top down is a waste of everybody's time. Now, monetization of the party. The party has become monetized. Now they don't want to hear salient voices of dissent, voices that wants to build. The first thing they are looking out to is how much does he have? Hey, since when did this party get to this level? That if it was about money, former President Akuffo could never have become president in this country. Including former President Akuffo himself. Because in the days leading to the 2016 elections, there were accounts that he couldn't have fewer money to even go to various regions. It took the determination of the people in the grassroots to ensure that he won the elections. But now everything is monetized. And it was the reason why they settled on the candidate Asumedu. Because to them he was a minor, he had some money in his house, he could finance the whole process. Sada? they are only going to elect a flag bearer. Can you imagine? A mere flag bearer. To be able to take part in the process, they are demanding 4.6 million. 46 billion. For your information, billion, 46. To take part. And I was wondering whether Community Japan paid that money. Hey! He has gone to pay 4.6 million. So at the end, he says, I won't take part. When we raise this matter, one thing that is so surprising about it is that I've been on a number of programs with leading members of the NPP, including my brother Richard Ahiagba, who was arguing with me that I was lying. That the party is demanding 4.6 million, just as recent as last Thursday, only for Kennedy Japan to broadcast it 2 days ago. That he has paid that money. How can a party monetize such an institution? Now of late you have been hearing something like Akana. I hope you have heard it.
Yes. The
principle of Akana. And now they are going to introduce another one, Finex. Finex and you. So the principle of Akana is coming from the Bawumia camp. They are saying all those that voted for the party in the last elections, the 41.74, they are certain that they have calmed them. Nobody will be sick, nobody will be allowed to travel, they will make sure nobody dies. And they will make sure nobody changes their mind. All of them are going to vote for Mahmoud Bawumia camp 2028. Now if that principle is anything to go by, then it means Akwatia, they didn't even need to go there because they were already leading. And then the other voted for and the Skumi in the last elections were there to vote for Asumedu. Yet they reduced in terms of votes and they lost it. So it has also deflated that principle called Akana. Now they say we should go and find X. If 1 million votes, it took 8 years for John Mahama to recover from that 1 million votes to win the election, therefore 1.7. Now say that we did mathematics and realized that it will take about 13 years or 3 electoral cycles. Then the Bawumia side comes in and says, no, this is all mathematics we are talking about. The X is Kennedy Japan himself. He is the problem of the day. These people, they are doing so well. You remember recently, they introduced to us sinners. Now, Mahmoud Bawumia's own is about 26 cents. Kennedy's own is 10 cents, and Brian's own, they have increased it by a factor of 5, say 11 cents. So a party that wants to come and lead this country, they themselves are exposing all the wrongdoings with them, and out of this, one would lead them. So when the one comes to lead and we start playing back this, then they start screaming and boycotting media platforms that why are you hammering on this? But you came to tell us. Can you imagine? So it is just, they have to put the brakes. I believe that it's not too late. They must go back onto the drawing board and then begin to do things the right way. Unfortunately for them, our party is almost there. And we are going to, as it were, be magnanimous to them, extend an amnesty to all of them. They didn't wrong us. They have to come home, join us, and let us build a formidable party that will rival the National Democratic Congress. Let me end it here.
Okay, I will find out from me whether he will take that olive branch that you just extended. Now, very interesting, but I think somehow we have to place an injunction on some of the things you say, because now if politicians are going for by-election, you have put their wives on alert. Agboku Benkufi says, I want to thank Solomon for his honest.
All the rooms were occupied by young girls.
People are going by election. Thank you very much, Yaa. This is Tafai Namra here, who says, Senna, good morning to you and your guests. And the NDC victory in Akwatia is due to unprecedented good management of the country's economy. NPP claim that this is their stronghold. They could have won it if the NDC government was not performing. But we are performing to the satisfaction of the people of Akwatia. Thank you for that. And this one is from Komla Genya, who says, I am a very independent-minded person, and I'll criticize anyone who I disagree with, including the NDC, whenever I have issues with any of their actions and inactions. Solo has gained my respect since he left NPP. How he changed me from a person who didn't like listening to him to one of his keen listeners shows that there's something wrong with being a member of the NPP. The evolution has been quite interesting, because people used to fight me for not reading some of the comments, some of them in total. When they send comments about you, now it is a different matter. Harding Pick Farm says, good morning. Those who jubilated over the dismissal of Madame Charlotte Osei are today crying foul over the removal of the Chief Justice. I never knew people attain higher education and then become unfortunately illiterate with their thinking. When Addo forcibly removed Madame Charlotte Osei and Mr. Domelevo from office, what was your reaction? No one is more human than others in this country. Anyone who is not happy with the decision of the removal of the Chief Justice can go on hunger strike or keep quiet for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama to reset the country. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Abbas Amogobo in Ofinso says the removal of the CJ will serve as a deterrent to future CJ. You can't be a public servant and at the same time a party person. All her judgments were in the interest of the NPP, which was very bad. That's Abbas Amogobo who sent that. Thank you. There's also this one from Sedem, Sovie Mando, Martin Kwame Sedem, who says the former Chief Justice's bias, partisanship, and competence were so obvious to the public. And incompetence is under her leadership that the Afro Barometer results sank the judiciary so low. No matter how the corpse puts resistance, it will eventually be lowered into the grave. And this is exactly what happened. After all, the law is the law. Then there's Musa Abatwa. So the position taken by the NPP and their collaborators on the removal of the Chief Justice is highly hypocritical and completely unsound. Justice Okonu is a lawyer and a judge of good standing, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. Are they suggesting she did not know it was wrong to collect per diem for people who were not entitled to it? If this concern is about precedence, then the question is, who first initiated the removal of an independent body? And what did they say at the time? Consistency is key, and the NPP must be honest in their analysis. That's coming from Musa Abba. To our finally, Prince Henry Koforidua, who says the NDC winning Akwatia by-election is a testament of the good work the government of President John Mahama is doing for the good people of Ghana. For the past 8 months in office, on the issue of the former Chief Justice, Tokonu, the NDC and President Mahama have no hands in removing Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu. Rather, the President acted based on what the Constitution requires him to do. Because if the President had failed to act, the President would have been facing impeachment now. The NPP as it stands now has lost touch with Ghanaians and must not dream of winning political power soon if the name NPP is not changed to a different name. As a native of the New Joaben South, I am calling on my MP, Michael Ochrebefi, to resign because the people of New Joaben don't need a dishonest MP. NPP is finished. Me.
Interesting messages.
Yes.
That we should change the name. And
Yes.
that NPP is finished. NPP is not finished. If the NDC in 2016 took that path, they wouldn't have been here today. But, we all know that statistically, the incumbent always wins, or most often times wins by-elections. Out of the 33 by-elections we've had in this country, 29 have been won by incumbents. So, going into the Akwatia election, I was of the view that we could pull it through and surprise the people of Ghana with a retention of the seat. But in all honesty, whether Akwatia by-election or the Tamale by-election, there are fundamental problems with the New Patriotic Party as it is today. Fundamental problems. The party has become so unpopular. And we need to spend time to build the party from the base again. The party is very, very unpopular. I feel it when I go to my constituency, when I go to the marketplaces, when I go to people that I know are core NPP people. If I take my electoral roll, I can say that this home is an NPP home, and when we go, they will get 20 votes. Today you go there and they tell you,
we and some other team because watching and also Mamma so Jim or had a sense of body and idea. Don't be a domania. Only ever sent she money of small question because of GH Politics Avenue.